projects in the economy.
Okay. Sri Iyer, let me bring you in, sir. The big concern for a lot of people has been the GDP data, which has been quite disappointing, but also the fact that, job creation has to be a key area, lifting manufacturing, ensuring labor reforms keep pace with how manufacturing is taking place around the world. All that ideally should be part of the 100-day agenda.
Absolutely. And if I were the Prime Minister, I would take up the hardest ones in the first 100 days, because you need time for some of these things to set in. For instance, a better fiscal and monetary policy, where you're going to try and adjust the rates downwards and make it easier for businesses and create jobs from SME sector. That is the big job growth engine. That's where you need to look for jobs. Now, the thing that I really would like to know is GST was supposed to be revenue neutral, meaning whatever was the revenue coming in prior to GST being in place, it should stay the same. However, we've seen these adjustments tweaking this, that. I'd like the government to have a policy paper on where things stand today in terms of GST. Are they actually making money now, or is it still revenue neutral? Why, for example, is petrol and liquor not
still
part
out of
GST?
it? Yes.
Yeah, we bring it all together, and that way what happens is you have some sort of a price normalization. It is my opinion that the state governments are bankrupt and these people are not fiscally working correctly. They just keep these nonsensical SOPs. They make these announcements, get people, kicked up, and then they go and vote for them. But they know that their coffers are empty.
Exactly.
So this reality needs to come out.
Okay.
I mean, you can't.
Then let me ask. General Sinha, let me quickly get in Sri Iyer, and then I get in Mr. Hemendra as well. Sri Iyer.
I have only covered 4 points.
Yes, I know that, sir.
Three
5 more are left.
I only have 3 things to say. Number 1, on defense, India needs to get closer to US. The US is willing to open its arsenal for India to go and pick and choose what equipment they want to fight with. It will relieve the stress on having to allocate and buy our own arms. I'm telling you, this is very serious. I wish India would give it all the seriousness that it deserves and not be flippant when Mike Pompeo comes calling. And this will help us in terms of being able to respond to any kind of adventurism on part of China or Pakistan. Number 1. Number 2, on education, I would really urge the government to take it out of concurrent list and put it in central list. This nonsense that I'm hearing from Tamil Nadu that he'd be giving exception because they didn't teach 11th grade curriculum to the students. What are they smoking? So this kind of stuff is wrong. People have to be from India. When you represent India abroad, everybody needs to have the same skill set, and education is one such thing that needs to be normalized across the country.
Okay.
The third thing is, in terms of infrastructure development, you can do that if you don't have to worry too much about your defense expenditure. So let's get that point 1 going faster so that you can free up your precious resources and to do all the infrastructure. Once you have the infrastructure in place and once you have the American help in defending yourself, boy, we can do wonders.
Okay, all right, yes. Okay, all right. Quickly, Sri Iyer. Sri Iyer, I want to then go about the other big issues on Amit Shah's platter. What all is there? But, quickly, Sri Iyer first, please.
Simple question for the finance minister. How is she going to ensure 12% GDP growth? Because that is the only thing that is going to solve the unemployment problem, create new jobs. If you just answered that one question, a lot of other priorities are going to start falling in place.
All right, Raman Malik, let me quickly get in Sri Iyer. I want to get in General Sinha after that.
Condemning it.
Okay, Sri Iyer, then General Sinha.
Yes. India doesn't have to go find its own money to fund its growth. It can encourage foreign entities to come in and invest in India. There's only one small problem. We need to regularize our participatory notes. Ideally, I'd like to see them banned, but if not that, let's at least try to find out who is putting the money in, find the identity of the person who puts these participatory notes in. I understand that you cannot abruptly turn it off, but let's do that, because as soon as...
So you touch
world
P-notes,
sees that
markets tank
India's-
1,000 points.
No, it's okay. It's a one-time thing. It's a one-time thing, because what you have today is not exactly
How would you
price
like the
discovery
P-notes
in
to
the
be?
market.
Something like what Mr. Chidambaram done?
I'm saying normalize them. First find out who is actually being in the P-note thing. Get their IDs. IDs will help you to find out where the money is coming from.
You know, I
Today
remember
what
this.
happens is, financial markets are not
Sri Iyer,
trustworthy.
after the
So
2008
foreign
meltdown
entities
also,
are-
the UPA government wanted to do something on P-notes. The markets melted further, and every government successively has had cold feet on that. It's a step that should ideally happen to ensure greater transparency in terms of identification of global investors. And
brought about in India.
Sri Iyer, you want to come in there? Then I get in Raman Malik.
Because there are a lot of hypocrites
Yes,
sitting
I
around.
don't think the government is
See,
going to
the point is
introduce a
there is a
triple talaq bill
hypocrisy
unless
there
it is sure
when
of
it
its
comes to
numbers
this
in the
vote
Rajya
bank
Sabha.
politics.
And in my opinion, they should do that only if they are sure of victory, and then move towards bringing UCC, Uniform Civil Code, by the time they get a majority in Rajya Sabha. This is for the simple reason that you want everyone in India to feel that the same set of laws apply to everyone. Remember, the Hindu laws were all codified in the early 50s, and it was
Yes.
expected that Nehru would take on and do the same thing to the Muslim laws. But right now, the Muslim laws are stuck in the age of Aurangzeb. For God's sake, you need to bring them together, take them
Do you
along
expect
with us.
that to happen?
So,
Do you expect that to happen this time around? How will the opposition come around?
Why? If you have the majority in Rajya Sabha, what is the problem?
No, that is about 2 years away. You know, before
That's
the
fine.
state elections, that
Not
won't
yet.
happen. Yeah.
Not yet.
So
That is fine.
that
Don't
will take
worry
time
about
if at
these-
all it happens. Yeah.
Look, every state election you cannot be worrying about what issue this and that and so on and so forth, but you need to make everyone feel that they are the same in the eyes of the law. Right now you see way too much pampering because of their vote banks, and this sort of thing has to stop. And one way to do that is to bring in Uniform Civil Code across the country. And I would expect that by end of 2020 that's in place. Remember, this is a 100-day plan. You're saying first plant the triple talaq, get that moving, then say that I want to do UCC, and along the way you need to get rid of Article 35A, 370. I mean, we need to
Raman
do this thing
Malik.
as a nation.
Raman Malik,
Move
you
as a
heard
nation.
Sri Iyer's wish list. All right, Sri Iyer, you want to come in there, sir? What your
Yes,
wish list?
12% growth, a clear defense objective, and allow Hindus to migrate from Pakistan and Bangladesh. They are getting slaughtered over there. For God's sake, we are seeing this thing. My heart bleeds for them. The way these guys are being treated in Sindh and in interior Pakistan, and I really want Mr. Modi to increase the number of people who are going to be allowed into India. We will figure out a way to feed our brethren, but for God's sake, increase that. It's 1,000 now per month. I would like to see it go up to 5,000. 7 million people still stranded in Pakistan.
Okay, yes. Raman Malik, what would you ideally want as a party man for the government to address?
The first and foremost thing that I would like to be addressed is, as rightly said by Shri Iyer, that the persecuted people should be given refuge, and all these the Bangladeshis and the Rohingyas which come under the NRC and other factors should be executed. So if we are supposed to take a load, we will take their load instead of the Rohingyas and the Bangladeshis illegally and illegally settled in India. Secondly,